What's up everyone, Master Fox here today, and we'll be discussing Tellarknights and the ban list. Seeing as the Tellarknights have just won Worlds, and knowing full well what the Worlds effect is, it's not hard to imagine that Tellarknights are on the chopping block for major hits on the ban list, and they'll probably be hit harder than what they actually deserve. In this discussion, let's look first at what Konami might do, and then we can look at the deck objectively as to what should be hit, discounting the world results. First, this is Konami we're talking about. They've been known to give decks the world's treatment for a long time now, and in recent memory, just look at decks like Infinity and Dragon Rulers. Infinity was basically executed following their win, and was further even kicked in the nuts recently with the Lavalval chain hit. Rulers had something along the line of 20 cards hit that directly targeted them on the September 2013 ban list, and then they were still arguably the tier 0 deck in the following format, and had to be hit in another wave. Then came the final wave that killed the Dragon Rulers deck back in April of this year. But you get the picture. Now with this win, I see Tellarknights getting a bunch of hits that are probably unwarranted in the TCG meta, but let's examine them anyways. So here are the most likely candidates for Konami to hit. Satellarknight Deneb, Satellarknight Altair, Stellarknight Trigger, and Stellar Nova Alpha, along with some possible collateral damage hits like Reinforcement of the Army and Call of the Haunted. For Deneb and Altair, the worst that I can see them is going to 1 each. I can't really see Konami banning either of them. And Trigger could possibly be banned since, to be honest, a limit does basically nothing. Wait for it. I know what you guys are thinking. Trigger loop. Yeah, that may be a thing, but that's not really what wins games a majority of the time when you're using Trigger. I play a lot of Tellarknights, and realistically, I only go into the loop around 1 in 20 games anyways. Trigger alone at the right time is what seals the game. And as for Reinforcement of the Army and Call of the Haunted, they're kind of just random hits that Konami is known to do. I could see either of them going to 1. So these are basically all the possible hits that Konami could do. They could also hit some other obscure things, but I think these are the most likely hits, and any combination of them is realistically possible. So now let's shift the discussion to what actual balance hits would be to Tellarknights. Tellarknights are objectively the weakest deck of the Big Five based on recent and past tournament results. And as a result, hits to them would mean massive hits are warranted across the board to the rest of the meta decks. At this point, I see that there are essentially 3 main power plays in the deck. Number 1, Deneb to Altair looping. Number 2, Stellar Nova Alpha. And number 3, Stellarknight Trigger. In my opinion, hitting Deneb or Altair isn't really necessary, and it's essentially the lifeblood of the deck, so that leaves basically 2 options for us to hit in Alpha and Trigger. Alpha and Trigger are realistically the only 2 plays, in my opinion, that could be considered broken coming from the deck. Alpha is Omni Negation that often comes at a +1, which is obviously very powerful. If this was the main card to be hit, I think a limit would suffice. Banning it is probably overkill for the deck. Now we have Trigger, which is the most controversial and likely the most powerful card in the deck. Admittedly, I think Trigger is actually a very broken card. As I mentioned before, if Trigger is to be hit, banning it is probably the only real option if you want to hit the deck and have any effect on it at all. Now, in terms of hits for balance then, overall I'd either hit Alpha to 1 or ban Trigger. These would probably be mutually exclusive hits, as I think hitting both at the same time unnecessarily hurts what's actually the worst of the top 5 meta decks. And if you did that, you'd have to massacre the other 4 meta decks to level the playing field out. So these are basically my opinions on Tellarknights and the ban list. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. What do you guys think would be some good alternatives to Tellarknights in the ban list? And do you think they'll get the world's treatment or not? And that's pretty much it for this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.